Welcome, new listeners and returning listeners, to today's episode of the Black Business Roundtable. I am your host, Doug Blacksher, broadcasting to you live from the City of Diversity, that is Oakland, California. We're excited to have visiting with us today the newly seated council member, Mr. Kevin Jenkins of Oakland District 6, and also returning Barack Obama Shaw, whom announced exclusively on our show late last year that he is running for governor of California in 2026. The Black Business Roundtable was invited to attend the political inauguration this past Monday, January 9th, of Mayor Shane Tao, Council of Oakland, California, Council Member Kevin Jenkins, District 6 of Oakland, California, and last but not least, Janani Ramachandran of District 4 in Oakland, California. And to top it all off, we were invited by newly elected District Attorney of San Francisco, DA Brooke Jenkins. And man, this sister is bad. We had an awesome time last night. Sworn in San Francisco, January 11, 2023. This year is starting off with new leadership, new direction, new ideas, and solutions for the Bay Area. I saved the best introduction, of course, for my co-host with the most, Dr. Ashley, Doctor of Psychology, is back with us once again as she broadcasts from Southern California as our mental health expert. And yes, audience, we need that mental health, keeping us centered and acknowledging our mental health needs heading into 2023. A heartfelt thank you for Dr. Donnie Glover of BlackUSA.News for the honor of the Black Business Roundtable being a part of your growing network dedicated to bringing the real, unfiltered news before the news. Hashtag BlackUSA.News, hashtag Donnie Glover. Today, January 12th, 2023, as noted via the National Day calendar, today is National Pharmacist Day. Did you know Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, ginger ale, and that's ginger ale, were all invented by pharmacists? Ooh, no wonder we get a buzz when we have a Coke. Hashtag National Pharmacist Day. Thank you, National Day Calendar, for that informative information. Some current events in the news today. The never-ending series of storms continue to devastate California, and more waves on the way. What a blessing as Damar Hamlin was released from the hospital to continue his recovery. Monday, January 16th, we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr., a day of service. So Instagram or Facebook me your day of service photos, hashtag Martin Luther King. January 26th is yet another anniversary of the 2020 loss of Kobe Bryant due to a fatal helicopter accident, which a total of 8 passengers and 1 crew member died. Hashtag Kobe Bryant. Open. My brother, Kinfolx for coffee, wine, culture. See the walls filled with art, and let's turn this into a spot to uplift one another and bring a sense of community. Now, open daily, Monday through Friday, from 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Man, his brother put a outstanding place where you can relax, fire up your computer, have a great cup of coffee, and then at the end of the day, have a glass of wine and wind down. Join friend of the show, Creighton Davis, and partners Nicole and Tunde at 1951 Telegraph Avenue in Oakland, California. Instagram at Kinfolx Coffee, hashtag Kinfolx Coffee. This week's Black Business Roundtable thumbs up goes to all those California helping, and I say this again, all those in California helping their communities dig out, clean up, and stay safe during the atmospheric river series of storms that are battering California. Man, it is terrible out here over the last couple of weeks with this water, rain, and even thunder and hail yesterday. So thank you once again, all those dedicated workers who are out there in the storm, saving lives and cleaning up our highways and getting our drains to flow so we don't get submerged with this traumatic change of weather here in California. This week's Black Business Roundtable thumbs down goes to those who continuously push to have a mayor's race recount. By whom? And at what cost? By whom and for what cost? I was looking at the Alameda County Board of Supervisors meeting, and the voter register person clearly stated that all the recounts and checks and balances have been done to move this process forward. Let these elected officials get into office and do their jobs. So once again, thumbs down goes to those whom continue to change the will of the people in Oakland, California, who voted for Mayor Shang Tao. Don't receive the thumbs down in hashtag the town. Do better. You are welcome to come and talk with us about it and make it right. Hashtag BBRT NAUGHTY LIST. Hashtag BBRT NAUGHTY LIST 2023. Today's show highlights. I will share my thoughts on the inauguration ceremony and what I hope for our political community members just sworn in this week. We catch up with Barack Obama's Shaw, whom also attended the ceremonies and celebration this week with City Council member Kevin Jenkins of District 6 in Oakland, California. Sworn in this week representing the constituents of District 6 and Oakland, California. So let's get started. This second Thursday of a brand new year of the 2023 new year. My co-host joining me shortly, my ride or die, my Wusa sister, friend, colleague, Dr. Ashley Coleman, as we give you the scoop from Oakland right here on the Black Business Roundtable, second show of January 2023, January 12th, today. My co-host and show guests today include Therapeutic Thursday. Check in with Dr. Ashley Coleman, Doctor of Psychology, tenured and immediate past department chair, assistant professor of psychology at University of the West. Welcome 2023, Dr. Ashley. Council member Kevin Jenkins, young brother, smart, very, very, very dedicated to the community from what I've seen so far. Sworn in this week, representing Oakland's District 6 and serves as the trustee Area 2 on the Peralta Community College Board, representing East Oakland. His email and his new email, since he has been elected council member of District 6, is district6 at oaklandca.gov. Once again, council member Kevin Jenkins, new email, district6 at oaklandca.gov. And also visit his website, Barack the Obama Shaw. See him on Instagram at Barack Denzel, hashtag Barack Denzel, or Facebook, Barack Denzel, hashtag Barack Obama 4, and that's the numeral 4, GOVCA. Now, for the national political highlights, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and what many are calling that alphabet speech, his ABCs of American values, had me thinking I was in church. The brother was bad. You should have seen it. The brother was bad. He sounded like Martin Luther King, and with a side of President Obama swag. And you remember how, boy, Mr. Obama, President Obama, you had a smooth swag. If ever there was a speech to record, this was it. This was it. His speech was a hit like thunder in the House chambers. And as I look at the diversity in America, diversity is the key word in 2023. The diversity of the Democrats and not so diverse Republican side of the chamber, the division was clear, cut, and all the world could see it. It was shameful, shame in the United States of America. The House Republicans finally choose their Speaker of the House after days of concession and voting. Kevin McCarthy of California finally gained the gavel and the floor, and his speech seemed to be a bit flat, and even a pancake has two flat sides to look forward to. That's how flat this speech was. I was curious to know how many folks nationally, stay tuned in and awake to his speech or switch channels. Republicans lead by, and Republicans, you all need to get yourself together. A divided House will not survive. Republican led by Kevin McCarthy did not seem to have the same passion and fire in his speech, especially with the Dems in control of the White House. I would like to say this. If this country is to move together, after every election, one thing we must do, put our personal feelings to the side. Let's work together, Republican, Democrat, and others, for the better good of this country. So, on that note, I think I see my right. Wait a minute. Woosah. There we go.
Hi, Doug. How you
Well,
doing?
girl, you will not believe, and we got a few minutes, so I want to say this. We were invited last night
Mm-hmm.
to San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins swearing in and the after party and dinner. And
Hmm.
let me tell you something. You need to start packing your bags. We got a sister running San Francisco County DA's department. We got a sister running Alameda County DA's department. And we
Mm-hmm.
got a sister in Contra Costa running the DA's department. So, audience, both Oakland, Alameda County, state of California, and nationally, Oakland is turning, the Bay Area is turning into the type of uh, uh, place where diversity, inclusion of all people is on top of the agenda, and specifically politically here. So, Dr. Ashley, all I can say is the sister is bad.
I
She,
believe it. If you've endorsed her, I know she is. But in addition to yesterday being a special day, I have a special announcement. Doug, we want to wish you a happy birthday on behalf of the Black Business Roundtable family. And I hope you are ready for us to have go off script several times today.
well, I just want to say thank you. It has truly been an honor. My birthday is January 14th,
Mm-hmm.
and it's truly been an honor to work with you, our backstage producer.
Mm-hmm.
I have grown so much over this last 2 years, and I really appreciate what you bring to the show. And to say for coming from you on my birthday, you go all right now. Come on now, don't right.
It's
Now,
okay. We often motto it's okay to show emotion and it's okay to cry. It is a achievement to make it where you
well,
are.
to be on this earth
Mm-hmm.
60 years. Yes, audience, I will be 60. And let
Mm-hmm.
me tell you this, in my circle, in the black circle, around the youngsters, once I get 60, I am a triple OG now.
Mm-hmm.
And that means they say when I walk through the hood, they told me you sway, you swag through the hood now because you were and all the young brothers give me my props because when you get 60 in the hood, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I can still keep the rapping
Your
going.
mixtape is coming out this year. We have to do a triple OG.
Well, let me just say this. I see our Grand Pooba, the man who has allowed us from Oakland, California and Southern California
Right.
to represent his brand. Donnie Glover, I love you, man. And thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And let me promise you this 2023 is going to be amazing. I know we got 1 minute before you go come on with your, but I'd like to say this.
Mm-hmm.
We're reaching out to the three district attorneys from Contra Costa, San Francisco, and Alameda to do a special show talking about their plans for their county. Second, at Mayor Shane Tao's inaugurate or after party after she was sworn in, I got to see my friend, Police Chief Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
And audience, you're not going to believe this. This brother will be coming on in February talking about all the great things that he's going to be doing for our city. And we have several all-star lineup guests coming up in the next couple, 2-3 months. So you do not want to miss this. We are going to have our local politicians here in Oakland, our police chief, our district attorneys talking about the great things that they're going to be doing in the city of Oakland,
Mm-hmm.
in the county of Alameda, the DA in the county of San Francisco, and the DA in the county of Contra Costa. So it's going to be a fantastic year. And as the brother say on the street, it's going to be a fat year. To that end, and now for the news of the day, Dr. Ashley, Wusa, please take us away. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Again, today's news of the day is courtesy of the Equal Justice Initiative that publishes their daily calendar of events. That can be accessed by visiting calendar.eji.org. So on this day, January 12th, 1931, a Black man was burned alive by a white mob in Maryville, Missouri, and Black residents flee. So, a mob of approximately 2,000 white men, women, and children seized a Black man named Mr. Raymond Gunn, placed him on the roof of the local white schoolhouse, and burned him alive in a public spectacle lynching meant to terrorize the entire Black community in Maryville, Missouri. And days before, a white school teacher had been found murdered, and suspicion fell on Mr. Gunn, who was arrested. And many Black people were lynched across the South under accusation of murder. And during this era of racial terror, mere suggestions of Black on white violence could provoke mob violence and lynching before the judicial system could or would act, even if due process was going to be extended, which we know it wasn't. And the deep racial hostility permeating throughout the Southern society often focused suspicion on Black communities after a crime was discovered, whether or not, again, that there was evidence. So following Mr. Gunn's arrest, police took Mr. Gunn to jail in a neighboring county due to threats of lynching. And at the peak of that racial terror, it's not uncommon for lynch mobs to seize their victims from jails, prisons, courtrooms, or out of the hands of guards, like in this case. So on the morning of Mr. Gunn's arraignment, a mob again seized him from the courthouse and inflicted violence and terror. And so that was an act of what was called during that time popular justice, or retaliation for a specific crime. Despite investigations initiated by state officials, no one was ever arrested or convicted of any crime related to the lynching of Mr. Raymond Gunn.
Dr. Ashley and audience listeners, not here in Oakland and Alameda County in California, and nationally and somewhat globally. It is so important that we understand our past history so we do not repeat it. And if you notice, right over my shoulder, I got Malcolm X and Martin Luther King coming together. Black America, we need to come together. If we can't come together amongst ourselves, how can we join America in coming together as a whole? So listening to these types of stories, Dr. Ashley, should give our young listeners insight of how far we have come. You're talking 90 years ago that a Black man was burned alive by a white mob in broad daylight. Thank you, Dr. Ashley, for giving us that wonderful piece of history and articulating it in a way that can you imagine me talking about that story? I'd be sitting there with a shotgun and a pistol.
It's
Anyway,
hard not to be infuriated. It's hard, so hard not to be infuriated. So it's understandable.
well, before I pass the baton back to you, thank you, Everett Butler. Family strong, man. I love you, brother. We look forward to being back on the show this year, too. You see that? Oh, I love that guy right there. Everett Butler, folks. My brother from another mother. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice ever. You see why I like this man?
Hey, Everett.
I
Happy
love
New
this man.
Year. Mhm.
And Dr. Ashley, audience, all across America and globally, that's why it's so important, and specifically for Black people, to get a grip on the mental health perspective aspect of all Black people. So many of us are hurting,
Mhm.
splinters in our mind. But let's be clear, talking to a doctor of psychology can help you understand what has happened, what is happening, and how you can make moving forward happen better. And mentally being strong is the key. Is the key for that.
Mhm.
To that end, once again, our weekly check-in with my very there I go again, Dr. Ashley, with our very own Dr. Ashley Coleman, Doctor of Psychology. Take it away, Dr. Ashley. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Again, greetings to the audience. Happy Therapeutic Thursday. We are almost to the halfway point in January, and I know this time of year, we typically take inventory. I think in one of our previous shows in December, I invited you all to take assessment and look at the wins that you have achieved in 2022. So many of us look forward to 2023. We have these goals in mind. And sometimes if January doesn't get off to the greatest start, which sometimes it can feel like December 33rd, if you will. But sometimes when January doesn't get off to the start that we want, we can be defeated. So what I wanted to talk about today is actually goal setting and introduce an acronym that I'm sure you're familiar with, but just to remind you of one type of approach to goal setting, and that's by setting SMART goals. So we know often that with goals, with those of us who are ambitious and really want to see change, we can get very excited, very motivated, whether it's through a vision board or our new planners or journals, and write out everything we want to see. And sometimes we can become discouraged or defeated if we don't see progress at an expected timeline. So I wanted to review the acronym SMART so that we can set ourselves up for success and keep that momentum going as we strive to have a healthy, safe, and successful 2023. So S in SMART stands for specific. So what do you want to accomplish? Who, again, needs to be included? How do you want to do this? Why is this a goal? So something very specific. Um, I want to save X amount of money. I want to lose X amount of pounds. I want to apply to this many graduate school programs. I want to expand my business to this many locations, or I want to, so something very, very specific. M, is it measurable? Okay. So is it a yes or no? Is it something that you can actually see progress toward? Or if you're not making progress towards that goal, is it written in a way that you can course correct? So some things to consider. The success towards meeting the goal can be measured. It answers the question, how will you know if you've been successful and how in meeting your goal? Okay, so is it measurable? A is probably one of the pit stops where people find themselves struggling. And so I've seen A mean two different words, but in the same realm. So is it attainable? Is it achievable? This is where often people get stuck because we want our goals to be realistic. And so it's very helpful in checking in with yourself. For instance, are you trying to lose 20 pounds, but your goal is to set that for January? How realistic is that? How sustainable is that? So setting yourself up for success, knowing that starting smaller, and you could always set another SMART goal and build on those foundational blocks. So again, goals are realistic and can be achieved in a specific amount of time. R, is it relevant? Okay. Are the goals that you're setting now, is this SMART goal relevant to current objectives that are aligned in a specific area? So, for instance, where do you want to be at the end of 2023? Where do you want your business to be? Are you saving up for a home? So knowing what your end goal is will help you, again, establish SMART goals that build upon that momentum, and are actually helping you what we call a graded way of setting this up. So, for instance, when I'm working with individuals who experience depression, sometimes our motivation can go down when we're experiencing depression. And so instead of saying, I want to do 4 loads of laundry, it may be, I need to sort the 2 loads of laundry. I need to get my detergent together. So, again, small goals that are going to build up over time towards that larger goal. So, how much, if you're saving and you want to save for a total down payment, how much are you saving across these months? Maybe breaking it into 4 quarters. How many, again, how much money do you want to save in a month? How much money do you want to save by the end of the first quarter of 2023? And then the last letter, T, again, can be such another trap. Timely, deadlines. Goals without deadlines are wishes. We have to hold ourselves accountable. Again, we're not always going to have motivation. So in those times, we need deadlines and discipline to help us, again, get up and go to the gym when we don't want to, or bypass, here you go, the whole I have food at home, bypass going to our favorite restaurants and buying the groceries, which are almost on par with eating out with how ridiculous groceries are costing right now, but still cooking at home. So again, the T helps us to remain accountable. So let's be smart in how we approach goal setting this year. And again, if therapy is also a place, I know we talk about some heavy topics, but therapy is actually a place too where you can have accountability and work on behavioral change with SMART goals. So this may be a nice time to, again, self-refer to therapy, therapyforblackgirls.com, therapyforblackmen.org. Find a trusted professional that can help you make those changes and uncover any roadblocks to sustaining the motivation or discipline to do so. And as always, as we like to share with you, if at any time you or someone you love experiences a psychological crisis, you can call 988 or you can text 741-741 24/7 and be connected with a trusted professional.
Audience, every week we talk about how important it is for every American, every human, to have the same access to mental health therapy as you would have for physical therapy. Dr. Ashley, thank you for highlighting in words that clearly shows how important it is to be not only mentally strong, have a nice teeth and gums. As you can tell, I have new glasses, have vision, but to have a strong mind to tackle the problems in America and globally. Thank you, Dr. Ashley.
Thank you, Doug.
As we move forward, Dr. Ashley, I have to tell you, I attended Mayor Shang Tao. I attended District 6 City Council person Kevin Jenkins. And last, but definitely not least, in Oakland, I attended Janani Ramachandran. Janani, and I always say Janani Ramachandran swearing in. I was so smitten to see that we have progressive leaders who were elected by the people in Oakland, California, to move this city forward, that has for the last 2 decades has forgotten about the masses of Black people here in Oakland who are suffering from lack of job opportunity, closing of schools, and I have a special announcement on school closing before the end of the show, that has been shut out of government contracting opportunities that the
Mhm.
city of Oakland in past every year spends over a $500 million, but 0.34% goes to African American businesses. Shame, 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 Oakland.
Mm.
But I feel hopeful now.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
feel that we are moving in a direction that we will be the beacon, a shining light across this country of how we bring inclusion and equity in economic development. Because let's be clear, America, if you don't have economic opportunities, you are a slave. You may not be in the field chopping cotton, but you are a slave to the people who have against the people who do not have.
Mm.
That's so important.
Mhm.
Uh, Real quick,
Mm.
I will be meeting with Mayor Tao in the upcoming days, if not week or so, to discuss how we move this city forward
Mm.
and increase the economic engine in the Black community. And I look forward to that. And I will be sharing that on the show in the upcoming weeks as we
Mm.
discuss how Oakland is being progressive and being the progressive leader in the United States. Because, and I'm going to say this and back up because I see my brother Barack Obama
Mhm.
down there.
Mhm.
We have to come together as a unit, as a people, as a city. We're Oaklanders. We're not white. We're not black. We're not Asian. We're Oaklanders. We're Californian and we're Americans.
Mhm.
And in America, if you don't have inclusion, it's not fair. It's not right. And how can we be the beacon of this world all around the country, or excuse me, all around the world? We talk about fairness and just, but we lack that in Oakland, California.
Mhm.
But I believe after seeing those people on the stage being sworn in, the ship is turning. Come on, man, come on.
Mhm.
Finally turn the ship. And it's because of the voters.
Mhm. Mhm.
Vote, vote, vote. It's time that we vote. Every American has a responsibility and an obligation to vote. And Black America, and I'm talking a little bit longer about voting, Dr. Ashley, because
Mhm.
I've talked to so many young Black boys or excuse me, young Black over 18 who have the chance to vote, and they've almost given up on the process.
Right. Doug, may I think also what's essential in that is a learned helplessness of people will be turned off from voting if
Mhm.
they don't think that their voice is going to hold value. And so I want to salute you again and give you your flowers for sharing this platform with candidates who are committed again to hearing all Oaklanders' voices and really be, like we say, in the field, in the grassroots of really tapping in with the people. And so you did that. You brought those candidates to the show. Those who voted did. And so we look forward to that follow through of those promises. And I think with results, young people will listen.
Well, I'm going to take a little more kudos and say that I endorse Shane Tao.
Hmm.
She won.
Hmm.
I endorse Kevin Jenkins. He won. I endorse Janani Ramachandran. She won. And last and definitely not least, Pamela Price. And she won. Elisa Victory, Barack D. Obama. Hold on. Hold on. And don't give up. Because I remember when Pamela Price lost, she came back. She didn't bring a baseball bat. She brought a two by four and won. Janani Ramachandran.
Yes.
She lost.
Hmm.
And she came back and won. So my mother said that before we bring Mr. Barack D. Obama Shaw on, my mother used to say this all the time. It's not given to the quickest
Hmm.
or the fastest
Hmm.
or the strongest. It's given to the one who can hold out and endure to the
Endure.
end.
Endure.
To that end, let's go backstage and bring Mr. Barack D. Obama Shaw up. And there he is, my man, our candidate for 2026 governor, Barack D. Obama Shaw. Welcome back, friend of the show, Barack D. Obama Shaw. Dr. Ashley, I just have to smile when I see this brother because
I know. Welcome back, Barack. Good to see you. And so we want to start off with just getting your reflections on the inaugurations that took place at the Paramount Theater. What did you think of that? And before that, happy birthday as well. We have the birthday men on the show, so we want to salute you as well.
happy birthday, my brother. Your
Oh,
mic.
you're on mute, Barack.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go. Yes.
Happy birthday to you as well. Thank you so much. This is great. Oh, so my thoughts about it was, we can, I say speak for myself. When we're not in action anymore. We stop exercising. Those muscles get flabby really, really quick, right? And so there was November. We're pushing, and then I was like, okay, November 8th, November 9th, okay. And then the rest of the holiday season, and it was just a breath of fresh air and inspiration to, just bringing us back. This is where we're up to. This is what we're doing. This is the future we're creating. And it was electrifying to be there. And I was excited, and I said, okay, I'm going to take some notes for my future successes here. So let me just look at it and take it all in. So visualizing success.
Let me ask you something, Barack. Is this firing you up for your run for governor of California? Because I've always heard when you see it, you can be it. Tell us a little bit about that, sir. How you felt.
Fired up. Oh, for sure. When we think we really need an image, because without an image, there's confusion, so, and there we were, just, everyone's there. We're talking about the future. And so it made me look at, okay, step up, get on your grind, or whatever you want to call that, but really step up and be ready. And that just brings me to a lot of politics. What I find about politics is it's about talking to the people. That's where it's at. That's where it's not in just one person. It's about talking to the people, and you think you know it, and then you talk to someone else, is like, well, I didn't know that. And then you talk to someone else, I didn't know that either. But after talking to those people, you get a bigger, broader view of what's possible in politics, because it's an ongoing situation where you're constantly learning.
And would it be fair to say that listening is just as important as talking?
It's more important. It's more important than talking.
Well, that's how audience, both in Oakland, Alameda County, state of California, all across this United States, that's how he and I met. When I seen him out there, I said, hey, man, what are you running for? You said, I'm running for mayor of Alameda. And we start talking, and you listen. And we politicians are so busy telling us what we should do or what they're going to do, have done. So thank you for continuing. Amazing how that stemmed from then to where we are now.
Yeah, because that's how you can find out what's happening. You know, you don't want to be like a doctor, just start prescribing medications. They're just coming to office. Take this, take that, take this, take that. No. They're gonna check you out first. They're gonna listen. Where does it hurt? How long has this been going on? What have you been eating? Have you been sleeping? Have you been doing this? Have you been? Then they'll say, based on what you're saying, you have this and not that, and you're going to be okay. Or hopefully they'll say that you're going to be okay. But they can prescribe those medications and tell you after they listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way.
Dr.
Notice they won't be a doctor for long.
Touche, absolutely. The one standard of a good provider is listening, and you have captured our audience's attention every time you've been here, Barack. So can you provide an update for our audience about your governor campaign? How can we follow and rally behind you?
Well, I think the biggest way, if you think about this show, this wonderful show we're on right now, and what we experienced at just last week. I mean, it wasn't last week. It was just the other Monday, right? Just Monday. It seems like, wow. But if we just have it one time, it's not going to do very much. You know, like it's just seeing this great show. If a person just comes to this show and hears one conversation, that's not going to, it's ongoingly, it's many thousands of conversations. That's how we're going to move things forward. So to answer your question, you know, I'd like for people to start contacting me, and so I can come into Oakland, I can speak to the people, we can have rallies, and we can discover what's possibly missing that would make that difference in what people are really searching for. That's the only way we're going to get it, because one conversation is not going to get it. It's just not. So it's many conversations. So people can contact me and let me know. And that's how things get done. Communication, ongoing communication.
Well, we have a few extra minutes. So
Sure.
I'd like to ask you something that is near and dear to my heart. And that is one of the things that I noticed that you are doing. You are out there hitting the ground, talking to not just people in Alameda now, but in Alameda County. Did you pick up any type of plans or strategy from Elisa Victory, where she went and she actually signed voters up where they live, and how she hit the ground learning how to talk to returning residents, etc. Thank you.
Well, I'm constantly taking notes as you speak, constantly, because I think that's the best way to be, is to know that your glass can be full and be able to empty it so you can fill it up some more. So yeah, I did take notes in terms of really showing people how easy it is, right? Because if you're there showing like, no, you can ride this bike. You can, no, I've never ridden it. No, you can get on the bike, and I'm going to stand. Now that's the person who built the bike, right? That's actually there. Now get on this bike, pedal it a little bit more, and then they develop that balance to where they can ride their bikes. Like, oh, I can ride a bike now. I can do this. I thought it was, tough, but having that journey to being with someone, it makes it so much easier.
Well, let me say this, and let me say it emphatically. I believe that you will accomplish your mission. I believe that, and this is what I'm going to, if that's okay, Dr. Asher, because we have a few extra minutes.
Sure.
I would like for you to educate our audience on your plan if you are elected to be governor. What is your plan? what will you do for the people of this great state? Talk to us. Tell us. I mean, you got an open mic now, brother. Lay it on us. Let the audience go, I like that. So lay it on us. I'm going to put myself on mute.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be pragmatic, which is, down to earth, somebody that people can talk to, and someone that is looking at defining what it is that we think we know, what we think we know about what politics is, what we think we know, what is a Democrat or what is a Republican, and what is the process to actually find out what are the facts in regard to the political process and what the governor is supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be working together as teams of people to actually define that so people are clear about what it is I'm supposed to be doing in the first place and how this thing works, because otherwise we're just looking for patterns, vote D, 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 vote R, like, why are you voting for these people? To really look at thinking, putting forth the intellectual effort so things can really, really change. So that's what I'm going to be focusing in on, and not, I would say, looking at what works about the political climate. No mudslinging. I'm just looking at. My standard is that politics are problems destined to be solved. So I'm looking for solutions. We know we got problems. That's fine, but I'm interested in solutions, and I'm not interested in being right about my solution. I don't care who comes up with the solution. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care if it came from a Republican, a Democrat. I don't care. I'm interested in results. And I think that's what people are interested in. Show me your results. Show me what you guys have been working on. Show me something. Don't tell me what the other people are not doing. Show me that you've been working. Work. That's what they're going to get from me. Yeah, I think you're on mute.
I have to go on mute and take myself off camera because I'm like a kid in school.
Yeah.
Tell our audience, if you were governor right now, and we, as you know, we are facing a horrific bad spell of weather, whether it be in Northern California, Central California, or down in Southern California, where my sister is, my little sister, my baby sister. How would you handle that in a sense that people are hurting out here? Homeless people are being flooded out of their camp. What type of resources what kind of plan would you have to provide resources to areas that are devastated with power outages, kids drowning just here in the Bay Area? Got swept away. And I think that's here in the Bay Area down south. Would you be on the ground floor with your security, your governor, mayor, or DA, you have security? What would you do?
Well, from A through Z, you want to look at who's prepared to do this and handle this in the first place, right? Having all the people who are nonprofits, that's like their heart and soul to make a difference, to be there with people, the Red Cross, all of these nonprofits, they need to be on the ground right now. And, we need to be talking to all of these nonprofits and having them all to work together as a team. Not, okay, you go out and do your thing, Red Cross, and you don't communicate with others. Not to say that they're not communicating, but really powerfully communicating where everyone's on the same page to attack this like an army. you know, because that's the way you really have things to work. You can't have just everyone's just doing their own thing to make that difference, but have everyone to come together, no matter what you believe in, and you know, as far as your uh, like I said, your beliefs and how you see life. We can have these different differences, but when people are in need, they are in need. That's just clear. You know, they're hungry. People are dying out there. They need resources. They need the resources right now. And someone standing out there and say, "Hey, what do you need? Let me assist you. How can I be of help?" Somebody standing out there. How can I be of help for you? People like that, and then you can get things done. Otherwise, text messages and news reports. No, you need people out there in their face talking to them.
To that end, audience, my producer, she thinks the world of you.
Thank you.
And you know what I'm talking about. She thinks that if we had more politicians with your character, with your genuine character, we would not have many of the social problems that exist in this country today. Thank you for joining today and keeping in touch with us, with our audience. We will, everyone, post it as new information in your campaign are released. Thank you again, Mr. Barack B. Obama Shaw, candidate running for governor of this great state, California. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dr. Ashley, we
Yes.
need more people like that who and I've known him for 6 to 8 months now, and he has a genuine heart and he's concerned. And I feel that if he's elected in whatever role, he'll make a positive impact and be a beacon of light for other people who are running, because we have so many politicians out here who get paid while their constituents get played. To that end, Dr. Ashley, can you take us to break so we can get this great man who just won District 6 out here on the stage? Thank you.
Absolutely. We're adding that to the mixtape, by the way. Because politicians get paid and constituents get played. We're adding that to your mixtape. But thank you, Mr. Donnie Glover of BlackUSA.News. Audience, be sure to tune into our sister shows. We have Chap and Friends on Mondays, Party Marty Let's Talk on Tuesday, Black USA Crypto News with Kamal Hubbard on Fridays. There's also the Blackout Live from New York with Tajmir. And on Sundays, there's 60 Minutes in Black USA with Michael Haney. To join our BBRT advertisement family or to be a possible guest on the show, please reach us via our email address, bbrt2021@hotmail.com. In your email, include your company name, contact information, and website for our vetting consideration. Doug?
Well, we have a few minutes before our honorable council member District 6, Kevin Jenkins, come here and lay out his plan to work with other city council members and our newly elected mayor to address homelessness, to address lack of diversity and equity and inclusion in government contracting in the city of Oakland, to address bringing communities together. And I have to share this, Dr. Ashley. I've had several people who I've talked to tell me I'm a sellout because I went and endorsed Shang Tao. And it is very disheartening for me to be called a sellout. Because if one thing that everybody and anybody who knows about me I am for Black people,
Mhm.
built from a Black woman by Black people.
Mhm.
I love Black people.
Mhm.
I have the right to choose
Mhm.
to vote for whoever I think is going to do the best job in our community
Mhm.
and in the city. Currently, over the last 2 decades, Oakland has had a decline in representation of all Black people.
Mhm.
A few people are getting rich who have made whatever deals with the previous administration. And I got a problem with that.
Mhm.
I have a problem when a few Black people are getting wealthy and rich, but the masses are starving, not getting opportunity to do great things. And I mean with education,
Mhm.
with job opportunities, contracting opportunities. And I'm glad we're talking about opportunity because I want to say the school board in Oakland, California has rescinded the decision to close many, many schools in the flatland of Oakland, California,
Mhm.
which, yes,
Mhm. Yes. Okay.
yes,
Mhm.
rescinded. And
Mhm.
and and it is so important. It is so important that the cities in whatever Oakland, San Francisco,
Mhm.
Baltimore, New York, we have community neighborhood school where
Right.
kids don't have to travel across different boundaries, different
Mhm.
communities, because there are many, many instances of gang violence because this
Right.
kid from the east side.
Right.
We're gonna jump wait a minute, we're gonna jump on the bus and kick his butt.
Mhm.
Or they could go to the school and
Mhm.
cause mayhem because the kid is from the east side of Oakland instead of the west side of Oakland, or the west side of Oakland instead of the east side of Oakland. I don't think that schools in the hills have those particular problems. But what I do think is they have resources and family participation, parents volunteering.
Mhm.
So, audience, let me be clear, and specifically in our Black and Brown community, get out there and ask to be a lunchtime monitor.
Mhm.
Ask to help out in the classroom
Mhm.
and be an assistant to a teacher on your day off. Drive your kid to school when you don't have to work that day instead of sleeping in, put them on the bus.
Mhm.
Check on the homework that they need to do. Ask your child, do you need a tutor? Is there anything I can help? These are simple things that we can do as parents. And I have to just say this wholeheartedly. My daughter just graduated about 5 years ago from University of San Francisco.
Mhm.
She's a Dawn. Her mother was so instrumental, and me too. I mean, I would be at that school. My daughter used to say, Dad, don't come to my class. Don't come to school no more. But that's when you do go.
Mhm.
Because if you don't know what your child is doing, then that's your fault. Get involved. Don't put it all on the school to be a babysitter. Educate and articulate to your child. That is my job until you get 18. And my daddy and mom used to say, as long as you live in this house,
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Mhm.
go in your room. I'm gonna be at the school. My daughter, and I see our.
But yeah, Doug, can I just say, jump in for a second though? Also, let's encourage business owners to make it possible for their employees to be involved parents and productive employees. And I think there's a way that can be done. Um, Many times, unfortunately, parents are choosing having to provide versus be involved. And so, one of the ways that that dilemma can be resolved is if businesses approach looking at their employees as whole people.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Business sector of the United States, a happy employee is an employee who has a happy family. If an employee is worried about their son or daughter not getting a good education, being bullied at school, and you are overworking them to the point to where they can't focus on doing their best, that takes away from production. That takes away from creativity because everyone, I wonder should I call the school? Or so work with your employees who have children, and I guarantee that employee will be a much better employee. But to that end, I think I see our amazing guest. Let me bring him right in here because this brother is sharp. This brother is and I'm gonna say this before. Oh, there you go. Okay, I didn't want to say it so he could see me because I don't want his head to get so big. We got to make the door bigger. But audience, let me be clear. This young brother here is the epitome of a representative that we would want as a city council person, as a mayor, as an Alameda County Board of Supervisor, as an assembly person, as a congressperson, as a state state senator, or as a United States senator. So
lay it out for the. We got Councilman. We have your career trajectory already planned.
Oh, we got your back. Let me tell you something. When you run, we're gonna run with you.
Hey man, I like having hair. I like my hair black, so don't wish the mayoral job on me right now. I got a few more years of having black hair. And I see you guys have on there serves as trustee area too. I got rid of that title. Unfortunately, I resigned, but
okay.
Yeah. So it's wonderful to be back with you guys.
Well, congratulations and welcome for the first time as newly sworn in Councilman Kevin Jenkins, representing District 6 of Oakland, California. And I proudly supported you. I had a few people call me and say, "Hey man, I need you to support me." I said, "Man, you got to go to the back of the bus when it comes to Kevin Jenkins because he's driving the bus."
Yeah, Doug's like Draymond Green. You want him on your team, but you absolutely despise him if he's going against.
He's an irritant if he's not on your team.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Ashley, can you read this young brother's amazing bio and let's get this party rolling?
Absolutely. Councilman Kevin Jenkins is a native Oaklander, housing justice champion, and community leader with a progressive track record of getting things done. He was born and raised in East Oakland as the son of 2 Oakland Unified School District employees. He graduated from Oakland High School and attended Laney College and College of Alameda, part of the Peralta Community College District, where he served, to help shape his career path and enter public service. He then transferred to San Francisco State University, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts in Urban Studies and Planning. And after graduating from his alma mater, he worked for Supervisor Keith Carson at the Alameda County Board of Supervisors, where he focused on land use and planning, energy, technology, and youth enhanced program development. While working full-time and raising his son Elijah, Kevin attended CSU East Bay, earning a master's degree in public administration. So, Councilman, I get to ask you the first question. So, the last time you were with us was actually on September 29th of 2022. And we discussed then you being a trustee with the Peralta Community College and your your campaign for the council member seat for District 6. And today we get to discuss your inauguration ceremony. So tell me, which I got to see the pictures of and social media. So tell us, what was that experience like taking your oath on stage?
It was surreal. I haven't been a part of anything like that since probably graduation from high school. Being in the Paramount and seeing all those folks seeing their new leaders get sworn in. If you look at the pictures, some people had like 3 people come on stage with them. Some folks had 10 people. Mine looked like the Source Awards, like in 2000, when all like the rappers would come up there. We had like 20 folks up there, but it's indicative of my tree and the people whose backs that I stood on to get here. And it was just amazing and surreal having that experience, having all these people that I love that have been invested in me be there with me.
Honorable Council Member Mr. Jenkins, your young son Elijah was on stage with you, and he appeared to be in awe, because I was there. He appeared to be in awe of you and the entire experience and the moment. Did he comment afterwards on what it was like to see his father, a Black man, an intelligent leader in the community whom he looks up to, sworn in? Thank you, sir.
Good question. So when I was sworn in for trustee, he was on my lap, and he raised his left hand, right? And so he was going around calling himself Trustee Elijah. So now he's calling himself Council Member Junior. And I think he really enjoyed the moment, but also he was ready to leave. He said, there's too many people wanting to take pictures. He wanted to get in all the pictures, but he was ready to get home and eat some French fries. But to the point, does he get the magnitude of the moment? And I'm not sure he does at this point. And maybe it's something that will hit him later on in life. But I'm not sure if he gets the magnitude of the moment. He was happy to be there, and I'm not sure he understands what it is that a city council person does and all of that. But I'm pretty sure as he grows older, he'll look back and say, hey, yeah, I was there. Hey, yeah, my dad was here. Hey, yeah, I grew up doing my homework in City Hall.
Well, before you ask the next question, Dr. Ashton, let me just say this, America. There are so many Black boys and girls. There's so many Black young boys and girls who I would love for them to share that experience of their parents, mom, dad, guardian, grandmother, or other, to experience that, because that burns an image in their mind that sets them on the path of doing great things, because they go, if my mom and dad can do it, I can do it. Thank you, sir.
I think you're absolutely right. Let me add to that. I remember when I was younger, I was around the barber, and I wanted to be a barber. Right? And there's nothing wrong with being a barber, but my mom said, no, that's not what you're going to strive to be, right? And it's based off of really the Black men that you see around you. And then the barber is the only Black man that you see around you as a young Black male growing up. That's what you might aspire to be. So I wholeheartedly agree with you that we need role models in different spaces to encourage these kids and serve as a living, breathing example of what you can achieve.
Thank you. Thank you. America, specifically Black America, take heed to what this gentleman has just said. There's nothing wrong with being a barber, but if you surround your child with images other than what they see in the community, if you don't have a image other than barbers and drug dealers and etc. But you have someone that can burn an image in their mind. I looked at your child. I looked at young Elijah, and when you were doing like this, his eyes were like bullets. He was, wow, that's my dad. And then he looked at the audience. Then he looked at you. Thank you for that. I mean, man, you're gonna have me clouding up now, okay? I mean, they already have me crying almost.
Doug, you're not 60 yet. Hold on.
Hold on. Dr. Ashley, please.
No, but it is a rich legacy. And I think, Councilman, you make a good point of first Elijah saying trustee and then saying Councilman Jr. So that word, he's taking in the environment. So the next question, you know how they say it's good luck if it rains during your wedding. Well, a little birdie said, we know what the inclement weather that's been going on in the Bay. So it rained on your first day as council member. But tell us, what was your first day like in this new role? Did it meet your expectations?
A lot of us go through imposter syndrome. Do I actually belong here? Was I elected because of something else other than my ability? So I've had doubts. The scary moment was never election day. The scary moment is the day in which you get inaugurated and you have to serve. And so saying that to say I've had not doubts, but questions about my ability to cut the learning curve, right? And so it's been easier than I've expected, but I think that's partly because I've been in a governing role before with the Bronx Community College District. Right now, I love all my colleagues. Check back in 6 months when I come back on the show. It seems like everyone is friendly. The new car smell is still in there.
Nice.
A good staff. And the first day was great. We had our first meeting. The hardest part about it is having to continuously smile in pictures that you take. But the policy aspect, the constituent services, that part is what I really love, the humanity, the job. That's what I really enjoy. So, it's easier than I expected.
Let me ask a follow-up question, because I find that, and I remember when you first came on the show, I was really impressed with your transparency. Imposter syndrome is something that a lot of people, again, in our age group, we're very vocal about it. And sometimes there's this assumption that just because we do courageous things, that there must be an absence of fear or doubt or anxiety. But often we feel the feelings and do it anyway. When those thoughts of, the imposter syndrome come up, how do you respond to them?
That's an interesting question. I've had doubt throughout the election. It's like, oh my goodness, am I going to lose? And I think it was more magnified because everyone thought that I was going to win. So there is the pressure of, if I lose, I got to leave town. I have to absolutely leave town. And there was a poll that showed this woman was in the lead. Right? She had 17%. I had 14%. Someone had 13%, and one had 8%, and the rest were undecided. But I'm like, if I lose, I got to leave town. This seat has been black for Doug, how long? Almost forever.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm glad you said something about leaving town, because when we endorsed who we endorsed for mayor, I had a very significant other say, if we lose, we gotta leave town.
You would have had to been out of here. Because people are still talking about Doug's memes and everything, and what he was posting maybe 15 times a day. But the imposter syndrome, it's something one has to deal with, but we have to be our own biggest fan, right? We've overcome so much in this journey of life. Millennials, everyone has overcome it, and you have to realize that we are resilient as people. And in that, just reminding ourselves that we dealt with more and we can bear more. And I think that's how I deal with the imposter syndrome.
Thank you for that. Doug?
Okay, let's get down to some nuts and bolts. Now that you have the job you campaign for,
Yeah.
how will you address cleaning up the crime and grime devastating, and I truly mean devastating, District 6, although it is early and I know you must get your footing. I know this. But can you share some insight into your plans to help your constituents? Because I'm concerned about District 6 and District 7. I'm less concerned about District 6 because I see my brother over there and I seen you on Facebook with Willie Brown, Bob Harris, who's a friend of the show. Was that Elihu who was with you?
No, Elihu couldn't make it that day. He had a doctor's appointment.
But I know he is a confidant, or he is a mentor of you. And who was the other gentleman with you that day?
We had Leo Brazil.
Leo Brazil.
Well, yeah.
And it was one other person.
Archel Morrell, who's a walking historian of Oakland.
I seen you with these icon powerhouse wise counsel. So I know you're being fed some good fuel to run that car. So tell my audience, tell our audience, Dr. Ashley and myself, what are you going to do? Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. So it's interesting you said that. I feel safer in East Oakland than I do in downtown Oakland. So downtown Oakland, you might go to the wine shop, you might go to the movies, you might go to Jack London. You got to worry about your car being broken into, maybe getting robbed over there. But in East Oakland, I have no worries. I walk around nighttime, nothing's going to happen. We got to look at crime from a multifaceted approach, right? We have to address the root causes of crime, right? Which is pretty much how unbalanced the system of capitalism is. And not to go too deep, but just all the ills that it causes in our community, our underfunded schools, the lack of resources, the lack of job opportunities, the lack of upward mobility, the oligarchy society, where those at the top have so much and those at the bottom are squeezing for pennies, and it causes these crimes of poverty. You also have crimes of opportunity. But then in addressing the root causes of crime, we also have to talk about enforcement of crimes. Right? And I had the privilege of knocking on thousands and thousands of doors in District 6 and talking to neighbors. And people want the police to come in 5 minutes if something happens, but they also don't want to be over-policed. And so I believe we can find this balance. And we have a new DEA who I know you supported. Doug was knocking them out of the park. He was absolutely knocking them out of the park. And I think she gets that balance where we can address the root causes of crime. If you still ink to write with a pen, we don't want to convict you. We want to help you to get those resources that you need. But also, if there's crimes of opportunity that are happening, we have to enforce the law and put you in a better position to where you're whole and you don't feel like you have to do those things. So my job is to do two things: address the root causes of crime and help the police force be more efficient, and civilianize some of those positions that don't necessarily need to be done by a sworn officer.
I got one quick before you go, Dr. Ash. I got, because we got a lot of time, so hang on, audience. Your previous successor had, as well as the other districts in Oakland, received $100,000 per district. He gave his $100,000 to another district council, city council person. My question to you is this. If you received $100,000 in your district, would you give it away, or would you use it to clean up some of those trash places that are plaguing, and I do mean it is dirty in District 6 and 7. I'm
Yeah.
talking about when I go down MacArthur and 106, by the Coliseum, by Eastmont Mall. Man, I've been out of this country and it looks like a third world country. We had the representatives of the United Nations come through Oakland and say, this is unbelievable. What would you do with that money? Would you give it away? And if you kept it, what would you do with that money that you got? Would you give it away or would you help your constituents in District 6? Thank you, sir.
See, we're throwing those softball, underhand questions. But, you know, I think it was a couple of years ago, I went on a date and we drove in South San Francisco and drove towards Pacifica and like we hit a turn and went to a park and I was like, oh my goodness, look at the park over there. It's so well manicured. It's clean. People are utilizing it. And that's what Oakland should be about. That's exactly how Oakland should look. I mean, it's 6, 7 o'clock at night and people felt safe using that park. And that stood out to me like, year and a half, 2 years later. As far as giving up money from my district, I'm not sure what deal was cut. But, no, there are needs in the district, and East Oakland has systemically been underfunded, under-resourced. And so there's many organizations and many things that could use those funds. Not sure what type of funds those were, but as you said, they could be utilized in different ways, right? Buying cameras for businesses so that we can catch illegal dumpers. Because, you know, I have zero tolerance for illegal dumping. You do it because you think you can get away with it. I look forward to meeting with the district attorney to see how we can work together to rid our community of that blight and illegal dumping.
Well, I'm looking at our Grand Poobah, the man who has made this all happen. He put down there, yeah, Doug, those Instagram memes were nobody, and I mean nobody, better make BBRT, Black Business Roundtable, mad or they get meme time. And audience, let me be clear. I take it personal. I'm 59 years old, 2 days away from being 60, a triple OG. This is serious to me. I will fight for my city to have beautiful parks, clean streets, where you can walk with your child, with your significant other, and not have to worry about, and I do mean worry about being robbed. That is serious to me. So now that the election's over, I can't say I apologize, but as I've said, we need to come together that is over. If you are a politician, you got to have thick skin because you're going to have some brothers and sisters like me who are going to come not with a baseball bat, with a 2x4, because Oakland is one of the greatest cities in California and in the nation. It's a city of diversity, inclusion, and equity. Well, it was. But now that we have a new city council, new mayor, and new district attorney, and you are right. I stood behind all 4 of those who won, and Elisa Victory, even though she didn't win, she only raised $30,000 and came in 4th over a person who raised over $300,000. So the people are begging. They're begging for leadership of our new elected leaders who are going to represent all of us and not just the wealthy and the well-connected. Dr. Ashley, please.
Sure. Before I ask the next question, council member, I just also want to acknowledge an issue dear to my heart that I think I'm sure is too, as an Oaklander, is human trafficking. And recently there was a story in the news about that. And so again, just want to put that out there. I'm getting ready to ask you a question about business, but both of us being Oakland natives and knowing that what we've seen and the fact that we avoided that lifestyle when we talk about educational opportunities and whatnot. The face of human trafficking right now are young Black girls and boys. And so just wanting to put that out there. But another issue that's harming Oakland is not having enough Black businesses with a seat at the table. Can you share with us your plans to increase the diversity and inclusion in Black businesses in regards to having a bigger presence in Oakland?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. We're losing our footing in all aspects of Oakland, and it's something we've just been talking about for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing Black people. We're losing Black people. We're just reporting. But what is it that we're actually going to do?
Right.
Now, I have to give my predecessor some credit. ESO Ventures is creating business owners in this new economy in which you don't necessarily need a storefront, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you can be a consultant. You can, I know they have winemakers, they have t-shirt shop makers. But that's one thing. The other thing is we have to break up some of these larger contracts. So
okay.
I had an orientation for the past 1-2 days, and they were talking about abandoned vehicles, and they have a strategy. And I was like, well, what's the strategy? There's abandoned vehicles all over Oakland.
Right.
I thought I saw one number as high as 20,000. That didn't come from city council. It might have been from the newspaper, but I thought about it. Well, who's going to be towing those cars, right? Is it the same people, AB&I? Is it not AB&I, A&B Towing that has been like towing cars in Oakland for years? Or are we going to allow entrepreneurs to say, well, let me take 20, 30, 40,000, whatever it costs to buy a tow truck and start a tow truck business and start towing those cars to Pick and Pull or Snitch or Steal and be able to take place in this economy. And that's the type of thing that I mean, that we need to break these bigger contracts up and give people the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Ash, because I'm very concerned about the many abandoned vehicles all around this city, specifically in District 6 and 7, and I believe in District 3. But to that note, there's a towing company that is Black owned called the Family Towing Company. I think it's the Family Towing Company. A Black guy owns it. He has for a decade tried to break into the city. And I'm not saying break into the city like illegally, but into the city's procurement process. And I'm gonna say his name again, or the business name again. Family Towing does an outstanding job. When I had used up all my AAA roll call, I called. Excuse me.
His name is Phil, right?
Look at you. Look. All right. Now you see. Wait a minute. Now you see why I backed this brother. This man has a business that is reputable, reliable, but the city of Oakland for the past decade or two won't even allow him to bid on these contracts. What will you do to increase Black and Dr. Ashley, I apologize. You in LA, I'm still hot out here on the trail.
It's okay.
To allow business like that to get involved in this multi-million-dollar towing industry that white men have dominated over the last 2+ decades. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so I think to address this, we got to go back to like Prop 209. Back in '96, which kind of makes it illegal for us to consider race and contracting and everything, right? But we did the disparity study, and Doug, you and other folks fought to get that study released. Now, what San Diego is doing is like they're suing to try and get around Prop 209. Like you guys can look that one up. And we got to see what comes from that. But at a certain point, a city or a jurisdiction is going to be able to find a loophole in 209 so that we can consider race when it comes to contracting. What we can do is break those contracts up so that the same people aren't getting such a large share, and really encourage entrepreneurs. And we have to figure out what it is that prevents minority businesses from competing? Is it getting bonded? Is it the startup cost? And seeing how we as a city can offer those things.
And how do you know Phil? I'm curious about that.
You know, this is really random. I was playing basketball on the park one day, and Phil was out there with his tow truck uniform on. I remembered him there. Then my mom got an engine years later put into her 2001 Mazda Protege, and that was at Phil's shop.
Well, let me tell you how I know Phil. My dad and I owned a business on 103rd and MacArthur, and I went by there about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and it looked like a third world country, but Phil is still there. His business is still there, and he can't, and he's a audience. We have many, many Black businesses in our neighborhoods that have been beacons. Beacon. But when you have a city that has, and let me give a disclosure here. This is not Kevin Jenkins talking. This is Doug Blacksher, the guy who makes the incredible memes. We have Black businesses here that will be thriving if we didn't have such a racist regime that has made it impossible for them to infiltrate the government contracting opportunities in our cities. Phil, and what's Phil's last name? Kevin, let's give Phil his props.
Is it Moment or something?
Excuse me?
Phil Moment or something like that? Let me look it up.
Okay. Well, Phil, if you're listening, and I hope somebody tell him to watch this show, you are the man. This man could be a AAA. He could be a AB or A and B towing, but our own local government will not even give him the opportunity to grow his business. And Oakland, the past regime, you got to be ashamed of yourself. Shame, shame, shame. Dr. Ashley, is it on me or is it on you?
And I think it is Moment. Yes.
Okay.
Phil's last name, Doug, just giving him again. Okay. It's on you.
Okay. And once again, it's called Family Towing. Phil Moment. If you're in Oakland or in Alameda County and you have used your AAA that you paid for, or if you don't have a towing service, call Phil Moment, the Family Towing Company, because he does a good job. His prices are fair, and he comes in a reasonable amount of time. And I'm giving him a plug, and he doesn't even, and I haven't seen him in about a year or two, but the brother is bad. To that end, is there anything you want your constituents to know as you start your term working for District 6 and bringing their concerns to the forefront? Thank you, Honorable Council Member and my brother. And as you said, we were almost ran out of town, so.
Yes, yeah. I think that's a good question. Knocking on the doors was one of the best things for me, training grounds for me. There's a lot of apathy when it comes to city government or government in general. People just don't think the government works for them. Right? And people of Oakland, and I said this at the inauguration, people of Oakland are proud folks, they're proud of their city. They love living here. But also there's a multitude of issues that make the quality of living incredibly difficult. I mean, people, it's not Beverly Hills. People aren't asking for a lot. Right. They're asking not to run into potholes that are big enough to have a zip code on them. Right? They're asking not to have illegal dumping. They want to be fair and compassionate when it comes to the homelessness issue. They want to send their kids to school and for them to be safe. And they also want to know when they call their city government, they won't be wound up in bureaucracy. And so a lot of the folks in Maxwell Park just wanted a representative that returns their calls, answers, lets folks know that they care about their issue. And so I'm going to be that person that cares about your issue. I'm going to be that person that's responsive, that's transparent, and that always votes how I believe what would be best for the district and the city of Oakland.
Dr. Ash, before you ask your last question, let me say this. I am feeling very good about the direction of Oakland for two reasons. First off, the mayor of Oakland, who was previously a council member in District 4, she has she has an excellent relationship. And that's why Oakland has not been getting things done. She has an excellent relationship with many of the city council, if not all of them. And if you have a confrontational relationship with city council, then it's very unlikely that things will be getting done. And since Kevin endorsed Shang Tao, I'm sure that he's going to have a good relationship. But the point I'm making here is when you got your government fighting, it's like on a national level. We got the Republicans swinging at the Democrats. We got the independents swinging at the Democrats. We got the, party within the Republican, the Trumpsters fighting with the
caucus. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why things are getting done on a national level. But on a local level here in Oakland, California, audience, let me be clear. We are going to be the example of what it means to have a mayor and city council come together to get things done. Dr. Ashley, please.
Sure. Councilman Jenkins, can you share with us what's the best way for your constituents to reach you to share feedback or about concerns?
That's really good. That's a good question, shall I say. There's Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Twitter, and let me look up my handle now. There's email, kjenkins@oaklandca.gov.
Okay.
There's Facebook. I was on Instagram, Dr. Ashley, and I said, who is this fine woman with the last name Blacksher, right? So I called Doug. I said, are you related to this person? He said, man, that's my daughter. So you can hit me up on Instagram as well, and I'm gonna give you guys so it's Kevin Jenkins Oak on Twitter, but best way to reach me is an email, kjenkins at oaklandca.gov. And somebody called me the other day. I was in the office, and he was like, wait a minute, like you're actually answering the phone? This is my representative? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you're not gonna send me the staff? And I said, no, I'm gonna work on this myself. So all those methods, you can reach me. I'm responsive, and I will get back to you.
Let me be clear, audience. There's a new sheriff in District 6, and his name is Kevin Jenkins, elected District 6 City Council member by 70% or close to 70% of the constituents feel that you are the man. You are my man. We look forward to having you back on this show. If you need anything from Black Business Roundtable, including talking to a mental therapist, call us.
Absolutely. Now, if I got more white hair and less hair when I come back, you guys know the job is beating me down. But no, I look forward to it. I look forward to coming back. I would love sitting here and talking to you guys. I don't know where the time goes. My apologies for being tardy. I had a little technical difficulties, but I will be back, and I look forward to it.
Well, let me share this, Kevin, before you take off. Talk to a therapist. I have one, and it's really helped me out with several issues. Just like you'd have a broken leg. Doc, look at Dr. Ashley laughing. Just like you'd have a toothache. Just like you can't see the script that you're reading, go see a doctor of psychology, because with the challenges that you have in front of you, man, it's going to be imperative that we keep you strong mentally so you can do what it takes to bring District 6 back to where we know it can be. Thank you for coming on the show today, sir. And we hope that you come back and keep us abreast on what you need and how we can help you be successful, not only to be the council member in District 6, but when you run for mayor, when you run for Alameda County Board of Supervisor, or any other political position, because I know where your heart is. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Triple OG. Take it easy.
Thanks, Kevin. Dr. Ashley, you guys have got me all clouded up. It looks like we're going to be leaving early here today. I think you probably, knowing you probably have a client at 6.
And knowing you have a celebration, because this is, again, it's so nice to hear what he's embarking on. But again, this has been a very passionate season where you've been really appealing to former leadership of the city. Again, we both love Oakland. It's, we know how great it can be for all, right? And so you've been advocating for more seats at the table, advocating by having qualified candidates on the show. We're so excited to see those who were elected and those that are rebounding and coming back stronger and strategizing and still want to roll up their sleeves and do the work. And that's something that we see in Elisa Victory. We saw in Janani before she won her second election. And we also see in Barack the Obama Shaw, this not waiting for the title to be impactful. But Doug, this has been, again, week after week, I've joined you, but really seeing this passion where you were fighting for the people of Oakland. And so, some people get their feelings hurt, and that's okay. But again, this is a weekend of celebration, of reaching 60. We understand, again, there's so many things that you've overcome to get to this point. And so that deserves some savoring of your choice of whatever that is, but just taking in the moments to celebrate the decades of wins, of triumph, of resilience. And my prayer for you, Doug, is that the best is yet to come.
Well, I'm going to give you and my producer and the few other people who surround me. If you want to soar like an eagle, you put eagles around you. Thank you, eagle. But if you want to be a chicken, you get chickens around you. I had to come out.
I know.
And audience, let me be clear as we wrap this up. I was brutal in the election cycle with people who I wasn't brutal to without any facts. I researched who was running, who was getting paid while the constituents got played, who was part of the old regime. I humbly ask all of my audience, both here in Oakland, in the county, in the state, and nationally, do your homework. Find out who is going to be representing you and who is going to be representing themselves. On that note, Dr. Ashley, please give us our closing acknowledgement, and we're going to get you out of here a little bit early so you can go kick it.
Well, we also want to acknowledge Miss Kay Barrett, who is wishing you a happy birthday, Doug. And so in the comments, just taking a moment, wanted to acknowledge that people are joining in to wish you well. So, Councilman Jenkins talked about Instagram, and that's such a great thing about millennials, where we are accessible, even politicians. And so, audience, if you're on Instagram, we want to know who you're following, but here's some suggested pages to visit. So one is at Donnie Glover Official, at Black USA News 11, at Barack Denzel, at Kinfolx Coffee. Can't wait to come home and go there to celebrate the coffee shop now in Oakland, at L'Objet Wines. Yes, indeed. At Kamal Hubbard. And so again, continue and at Kevin_Jenkins 510 at Victory for Oakland. So these are some of the, again, pages we're following, supporting. Go ahead, check them out so that you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest news of the friends of our show. Again, to Mr. Donnie Glover of BlackUSA.News, thank you for your continued support and mentorship in this space. Audience, again, we have some wonderful sister programming shows. We have Chapin Friends on Monday, Party Marty Let's Talk on Tuesday. There's Titillating Tuesdays with Stacey Dennis. There's Black USA Crypto News with Kamal Hubbard on Fridays. On Saturdays, the Blackout Live with New York from with Tashmir, and 60 Minutes in Black USA on Sundays with Michael Haney. If you want to know, be in the know, and reach our audience, join our BBRT advertising family, or to be a possible guest on the show, email us at bbrt2021@hotmail.com. In your email, please include details about your company and contact information. Also, other shows on our network. Here we go. BlackUSA.News Morning Show, The Donnie Glover Show, People Over Politics, Political Cipher, Data Malsis, Community Connections, Resources and Gardening, The Robert Report, Shared Space, Frontline News, Troy Rawlings Show, and The Beverly Smith Show. And as always, stay tuned because we are always adding new programming. As well, keep tabs on these issues that are near dear to our hearts. So one, we have a long weekend in celebrating the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King, as well as the hashtag Stand with Carlton of Raleigh, NC 2022. Again, that's to send messages of encouragement to Carlton. And also hashtag Driving While Black, Michael Thrash, Taylor County TX. And we're hoping to get them back on the show to give us an update as well. Doug?
Dr. Ashley, this was an amazing show today, as we do every week. Audience, remember, don't be a meme on Doug's Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So if you run, be serious, because if not, I'll be serious and have a few jokes while I'm being serious. Audience, thank you for joining us today. We return Thursday, January 19th with Emeryville, California Council Member Kalima Pryforce. We look forward to seeing you every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the BlackUSA.News Network on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you, audience, for tuning in. And remember, together, and I'm saying this for all the political people who are pissed off at me, as Councilmember Jenkins said, you either love me or like Draymond, you hate me. Remember, together, we can listen, we can learn, and we can share, because I know you care. This is Doug Blacksher and Dr. Ashley Coleman of the Black Business Roundtable. God bless, and